faces from every nation. I wanna find a place that's for conversation, where they discuss all the latest movies, or when something big happens in the news. See, that's us, what are we talking about? So what are we talking about today?
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of What Are We Talking About? Today we're doing a review of Doctor Strange. It is myself, Cody McLean, alongside here with Damon Stewart. How's it going, Damon?
Good. I saw Suicide Squad last night.
Did I say Suicide Squad?
No, oh my god, okay. I saw Doctor Strange last night.
Doctor Strange is what we're talking about. Wow. We were just talking about Suicide Squad before the camera started rolling.
Let's just
roll on with that. Anyways, Doctor Strange is what we're talking about.
I forgot I was seeing a Marvel movie. Yeah, but yeah, no, there's a lot of times throughout the movie where you find yourself forgetting you're watching a Marvel movie because the concepts are so out there and different from what we've seen in previous movies. Right at the beginning of the movie, you're already seeing same visuals with mind-bending.
Oh, by the way, spoiler review this is, so if you haven't seen the movie, you probably don't want to watch this. But anyways, go on, Damon, sorry.
Oh, yeah, and so the way they told the story was really interesting. That they made it as a really good origin story, and it's an origin story that it doesn't feel. It feels like an origin movie, but at the same time, you don't really know what's going on sometimes because Doctor Strange doesn't know what's going on.
No, I know what you mean.
Times.
For me, like I think they captured the his origin like pretty much exact. Okay, so my only knowledge of Doctor Strange before seeing this movie was there's a Marvel animated movie about Doctor Strange, and it's like his origin story. And he faced off against Mordo. I don't remember if he faces off against Dormammu, but I think so. It kind of parallels this story, but instead of it being Mads Mikkelsen's character, whatever his name is, Caecilius or whatever, it was actually Baron Mordo, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they did a really good job of capturing that same storyline, because that's what I heard it was going to be a long time ago, and that is basically what it ended up being, and I thought they did a good job of that.
Yeah, and I like that they didn't have romantic interest in the movie.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams was just like his friend that, I mean, they did date it clearly at one point. They were, whether they were dating or whatever, but it didn't take over the movie. There was a romantic interest for him, but it wasn't part of the story.
They were romantic at one time, but now they're just really close friends that rely on each other, so there's still love between them, but it's not your typical romantic love that they shove into everything nowadays.
That's the one thing about, like, the Thor movie, like, all of the Thor 1 and 2, that's part of the reason why the thing that I don't like about him is the Natalie Portman romance between her and Chris Hemsworth, but Iron Man did a pretty good job, I think, of making it's like the most believable romance until now we have this, where it does seem like this was a believable relationship between two adults, to me. Yeah,
exactly. And speaking of Thor, the end credit scene.
Oh yeah. So there was inklings and rumors of that happening, of Doctor Strange being in Thor, but that's basically a confirmation, right?
Yeah, and all the rumors, they all seem to point that he was just going to be making a cameo, but they reveal in the end credit scene it's going to be more than just a cameo.
Yeah, he's probably going to be in it for at least 20 minutes, I would think.
Oh, easily. If not the end battle, too, because if they're going up against a villain like Serdar, they're going to need somebody that's powerful enough to take on a villain like that, and who has already taken on a villain with that strength.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. That's the thing, man. I thought that the way that they did, whatever his name is, Dormammu. First of all, I did not know that Dormammu was going to be the main villain of this. I thought that that would be something that they would build to.
I 100% knew that. That's what I thought.
I mean, yeah, like, I just thought that's something that they would build to because it's a bigger, badder villain, but he didn't actually defeat Dormammu in this movie. He just basically, like, stopped him for a while. Dormammu could still come back and fuck him up. All he did was convince him to not fuck up the Earth, basically. Just for now. Like, who knows? But I think they did a really good job of showing this incredibly powerful being on screen. Like, and apparently that face is actually a, like, altered version of Benedict Cumberbatch's face.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that he probably wouldn't need a form in the Dark Realm or whatever it was called. So he would be able to just basically be a reflection of Doctor Strange, which was kind of cool.
Well, yeah, and they did a really good job showcasing the power of the time gem too.
Yeah.
Because you see how much it can mess with someone like Dormammu.
Mm-hmm.
All he did was create
a time loop. Yeah.
And kept losing. He didn't
even try to win. He just came up and he was like, "I've came to make a bargain." And then he gets killed and he comes back, "I've come to make a bargain." Yo, what the hell's going on? I've come to make a bargain.
It was like a Billy Mays situation, but wait, there's more. It kind of reminds me of the moment in the comics when how Deadpool defeats Galactus at one point. He defeats Galactus by just talking to him. He uses an uncanny method to drive them insane.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a good movie, and the visuals were so stunning.
Oh, that was
so
the
cool.
most... we used the D-Box seats or whatever. It was really cool sitting in one of those seats watching this movie. Yeah. And this is a movie where you definitely should see it in 3D.
Oh, yeah. 100. Like, it was easily one of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah. I mean...
Origin...
The thing is,
Iron Man 1.
some of the reviews that came out about it said that they thought it was sort of generic and stuck to the Marvel code or whatever, the Marvel template. But I don't know. I think that other than it was an origin story, and so at the start he didn't have powers, then he got his powers, and by the end he learned how to use his powers. That's just an origin story, but it was a very unique origin story. It wasn't your run-of-the-mill origin story, and it explored something that we haven't seen yet in the Marvel Universe with all this magic, which was something awesome that I'm glad that we've now seen them open the door to, like, a multiverse and that sort of thing, and actual magic, whereas Thor is just science so advanced we think it's magic, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And adding in the multiverse adds in so many new possibilities that they could do down the road for Phase 4.
Once Warner Brothers and Marvel are both out of money, they can do a JLA Avengers crossover.
Exactly what I was just thinking. Because they've already introduced the multiverse.
In both.
The DC universe.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So, what did you think about Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One?
She did a really good job. There was a lot of hate when she first got cast.
Yeah, the whitewashing conspiracies.
It was... I mean, I understood why they were saying what they were saying, but they were wrong.
Well, on one hand,
but
yes.
She did a really good job.
On the face value, when you hear about it, you think... That's weird that they cast somebody white to play a classically Asian role. But then when you think deeper about it, it makes more sense. First of all, in the comics, the Ancient One is Tibetan, and Disney wants to be able to sell this movie in China, first of all. And yeah, that's a little bit not good, but it's business, and so it makes sense for that reason. Also, it's not like the Ancient One was a positive version of an Asian. Like it is an Asian stereotype in and of itself. So you don't necessarily like. Is it a good thing if the only Asian in your movie is an Asian stereotype? I would say no. So I think that they did do the right thing in the end.
Look at who we cast as a Norse god, Heimdall.
No, exactly.
Like, Norwegian people are historically white, so sometimes at face value casting doesn't make sense, but then when the finished product comes out, it works.
Yeah, no, for sure. And they did a good job with having Benedict Wong as Wong being an Asian in this movie he wasn't an Asian stereotype, because in the comics, Wong is like a manservant, which they stayed away from that. He's not a manservant in this movie. He's his own character, and he's actually one of the better characters in the movie. I enjoyed him quite a bit. He's almost like the Drax of this movie.
Yeah, in a way. And I think kind of Spencer Rose brought us humanity to the Rose Ancient One. Especially in her final scene as the Ancient One where she's seeing her talk about her death and the acceptance of her death. And I think that really brought a lot of personal meaning to that part of the film.
Yeah.
And it helped move the Doctor Strange forward.
Yeah.
As a character.
Yeah, for sure. I also, one of the things that if you know about Doctor Strange, that you know Baron Mordo is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And in the trailer and all the stuff coming into the movie, they showed that he was a good guy, clearly. So if you know about the character, you know he's going to turn bad at some point. And I think they did a fairly good job of showing why he now is going against them. It wasn't just like all of a sudden he's just bad. They showed that he became untrustworthy with the system and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And he didn't like that they were breaking the rules of
reality, basically.
Reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, what did you think about the villains? Caecilius and his lackeys of just faceless white people.
So this was really good. He as you started to learn more about him,
you almost feel for him.
You feel for him, because they talk about how when he showed up to the doorstep, he lost everything, and so you get the sense that every person who's gone to learn from the Ancient One has gone and broke it. And I think that he did a really good job with the villain. And it was definitely one of the more memorable villains.
No, yeah, that's for sure. I agree with that. I think they did it. I agree with you. I think they did a good job showing, he wasn't at... for me, some of the weaker villains are, again, from Thor. Thor 2, the Malekith, and Ronan the Accuser. People who it's just Ronan was just a psychopath. He was just a terrorist that was I'm going to kill all the people that I disagree with or whatever. It doesn't really fully explain what his deal is. And same with from the Dark World, Malekith. Whereas with this character, it humanizes him quite a bit, where it shows he almost is the first version of what Mordo becomes.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be really interesting to see how Mordo evolves and progresses in the next movie.
Yeah. And
how far he's willing to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe a character that Mordo sets his sights on is Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, magic.
Even Even though she's not technically magic.
Yeah, she's not technically magic, but she is able to tap into the same energy. So I think how they're going to explain that is it might understand that her energies come from maybe like the negative zone or something like that.
Well, as far as we know, her power is based off of the mind gem, isn't it?
Yeah.
So does that mean that? Because to me, what that means is that they're Inhumans, kind of, aren't they? Where it's like the mind gem unlock, because they were doing experiments with people, a bunch of different people, and these two are the only ones that it actually worked on, is what I got from Avengers 2 and the end of Civil War. Or not Civil War, but Winter Soldier, or whatever it was, where it showed what's-his-face with the twins. Maybe that was Avengers 2. No, that wasn't Avengers 2. I don't fucking know.
No, it was Winter Soldier.
It was Winter Soldier, okay.
Yeah, and it could be that maybe it might just be like cosmic energy, sort of like Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel or whatever. And they could go with it that route, because then for the Inhumans, how do they explain the Inhumans? When they do an Inhumans, maybe
well, how have they been explained? The Inhumans have been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I don't really remember how they were explained. Basically, the way that they're explained in the comics, where it's like there was this ancient artifact that was left there by... I don't know if this is straight out of the comics or what, but there was an ancient artifact and stuff. And ancient things built on Earth by the Kree, who basically genetically engineered some humans to be inhuman, to be these super human, metahuman, whatever. That's what I have gotten from it. I don't currently watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I used to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's been a while.
Yeah, I've never watched the show, so I don't know how they explain it in the show. But I know that in the comics, they use Terrigen Mist to create Inhumans.
That's what they do in the show. Terrigen Mist. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah, so if they are using Terrigen Mist to create Inhumans, then maybe they'll just say that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they weren't inhuman. They were just humans who have their evolution enhanced by cosmic energy from the Mind Stone. Mm-hmm. So that could be one way that they use it. So it would be interesting to see, maybe if they bring Scarlet Witch in and Mordo goes after Scarlet Witch, then she sees Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto and gets the idea to maybe they'll bring back Quicksilver for Infinity War using
the time gem.
The Eye of Agamotto then.
Yeah. So, a couple more things that I just want to talk about of a little bit of speculation. So first, with the post-credit scene that had Thor in it, so basically what it means is, okay, so I think that the very start of Thor 3 is going to be basically, it's going to start with some Planet Hulk stuff. And then either Thor is going to be, like, find the Hulk, like, have to go find the Hulk, or else, I don't know how Thor is going to come into that, but I think that it's going to start with that. And so, clearly now, Doctor Strange is going to come in the second act. So basically, this is the Avengers 2.75, where all the Avengers that weren't in Captain America Civil War are now going to be in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense for them, because it worked so well on Civil War.
So, with the Soul Gem still not having been seen, do you think we're going to see that first pop up in Thor 3 or Avengers 4 or 3 or whatever, the next Avengers? And do you think that that's going to be how Captain Marvel gets her powers?
What if the Soul Gem is what's used to bring back Quicksilver because of Scarlet Witch's strong connection to her brother? Because when he died, she could feel it. right? So that could be used as a possible explanation.
Because they're twins.
Would be it would make more sense than the time jump.
But what?
And
I don't know, because we don't know what the slow gem will do either yet.
I'm pretty sure he had a 3-movie deal with them, with Marvel.
Yeah, but so did Terrence Howard.
That's true. Yeah, he got canned after the first film.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because nobody could really picture him in the War Machine.
No, it's because he wanted more money.
That too.
But I thought he was fine as Rhodey, but they changed Rhodey when they changed the actor. But also, what's his name? Elrond / what's his name? Red Skull. He has multiple film deal that he's only been in one movie. Like, just because they're in multiple... That's just what they do now, is they just sign the actor to multiple films as soon as they sign him onto one. If you're on for one, you're on for at least 3.
Yeah, that's true. At least that way they have some kind of a guarantee that they can use you.
But what if, at the end of the Avengers, the events of the Infinity War movies, Avengers 3 and 4, basically there's been so much death and destruction, and Doctor Strange has to go. Basically turns back time a whole bunch and fucking changes a whole bunch of shit, basically. And Quicksilver comes back that way.
That could work too. If anyone's gonna use they would probably get Strange to use the gauntlet. I think Odin is gonna die for real in Thor 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna end up being killed by
Surtur.
Yeah. And it would be really... I would actually really like to see King Thor with the arm of the Destroyer.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if they ended up doing that for the movie. And so, if Thor loses his arm during the events of Thor Ragnarok, then he gets the arm of the Destroyer, and then gets the Odin Force, and now Thor's a lot stronger of an ally in the fight against Thanos.
And then it could make it so that when Thanos comes, he would have to be drawn away from. It would have something to have him want to stay in Asgard a little bit more, as if now Odin's dead and he has to rule Asgard.
Yeah. So then we might see the beginning of the Infinity War start off where Thor's defending Asgard against Thanos, and then he manages to take the remaining gems from Asgard.
Well, the Tesseract is in Asgard,
the Tesseract in Asgard.
And there's also the other Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So what are the chances, do you think, of us seeing Beta Ray Bill in Thor 3?
Well, he's gonna happen. They're gonna bring him in.
I would love to see that. He's one of my favorite characters.
It would easily be one of the coolest characters in the movies. It would have another character on the power level of Thor.
Definitely. It would be a little more cool if Vision had never picked up the hammer, because then he would be the only other person besides Thor. Beta Ray Bill would be the only other person besides Thor who could wield the hammer. But I guess having 3 people, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, there has been times in the comics where Captain America's wielded the hammer.
Yeah, and Scarlett Johansson, whatever her name is, Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow's the hammer.
No, just actually Scarlett Johansson was Thor, like, in the comics.
Scarlett Johansson picked up the hammer. The hammer just saw took one look at her in that black suit, and she's worthy.
She's worthy, yeah.
It'll be really cool to see how they use Doctor Strange in the movies, and going further, and I'm excited to see how he interacts with characters like Tony Stark and.
Mm-hmm. He was a little bit Tony Starkish.
A lot more arrogant than Tony Stark.
He reminded me of Dr. House.
Tony Stark seems humble.
That's the thing. He was like Dr. House, which is good.
Tony Stark is the best at what he does, and he does talk about it a bit. But Doctor Strange lets you know he's the best at what he does all the time.
Yeah.
And like, there's no one else better. And it's so funny when he says to Wong that all of his coworkers laugh at his jokes, and he says, "Are you the one that pays them?"
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest jokes that it was a hard to miss, like an easy to miss joke, too. But I'm really concerned to see how he interacts with everyone else.
Yeah, because I would even equate Tony Stark and Doctor Strange are quite a bit alike, except basically Tony Stark has like real small amount of Asperger's, whereas Doctor Strange is just an asshole.
Yeah, he is. He really is. And there's an actual character transformation.
For sure.
Film where he sees how he was and
changes his ways.
Changes his entire character, and that's more or less the entire point of the film.
Yeah, culminating in when he basically goes to sacrifice himself with the time loop.
Yeah, exactly.
The only
He goes from being someone who would never do anything for anyone to someone who sacrificed himself for everyone.
Yeah.
Like literally 1,000 times, probably.
No, yeah, exactly. Probably more than we even saw. There's one negative that I could think of with that movie that is, there was a really cool scene, which is, Doctor Strange goes into his astral form and helps Rachel McAdams' character basically do surgery on him. But then when it was the fight between him and the other guy's astral form, that was a little bit, I don't know, weird.
It was a bit weird, but at the same time, it kind of a good display of how the different forces in the Marvel universe interact with the regular world when we can't see it.
Yeah. It was cool. That part is true.
If you look at the Marvel universe from the sideways anyway.
Yeah. One other negative is just the. It's not even just with this movie. It happens in more and more, like in almost every Marvel movie. There'll be an emotional moment, like when Tilda Swinton's character. Spoiler alert again! If you're watching this and you haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing. Tilda Swinton's character, when she dies, the Ancient One.
Yeah.
There's this. That was a very powerful, I thought, moment and scene. And then the very next scene, there's some physical comedy with the cloak of levitation and stuff like that, and it kind of takes away from it a little bit for me, I thought.
Yeah, it does, but they could have put that part in with the humor with the cloak a little bit at a different time, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But the cloak has its own sort of personality.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I liked the cloak. It almost reminded me of the relationship between like Aladdin and the carpet, between Doctor Strange and the cloak. But yeah, if they maybe would have just had that joke at a different place in the film and let you sit in that moment for a little bit longer, it just felt like you right when you were in that moment, it just takes you out of it with that little joke. But that, like, again, that's the tone of the Marvel movies. They're all a bit lighter, and they don't none of them ever are. There's no dark Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But
No, not yet. We could end up seeing a darker Marvel movie.
I really hope Avengers 3 is dark. I hope it's the Empire Strikes Back of the Avengers story. And then 4 would be the Return of the Jedi culmination in defeating of the enemy and happy celebration. And then now there's a new team going forward later.
Yeah. I would kind of like to see a Marvel movie directed by Quentin Tarantino and have it be a Deadpool kills Marvel universe.
You mean in an alternate universe from this where that could happen?
Yeah, in an alternate universe from this, when that could happen, I would like to see that. And there are rumors that Quentin Tarantino was chosen to direct the movie. Well, he's in the running, so.
For Deadpool 2?
But there's also. Yeah, there's
No.
also like 1,000 other.
What happened was some guy started a petition online to get Quentin Tarantino to direct Deadpool 2. There's no way that one of Quentin Tarantino's last 2 films is going to be Deadpool 2. First of all, he's not going to do somebody else. He's not going to do somebody else's material. And second of all, he's not going to do a sequel of somebody else's material. But I would love to see, in an alternate universe where it could happen, I would love to see Quentin Tarantino, like you said, direct something like Deadpool-esque in the Marvel universe. That would be kind of cool.
For him, the only Marvel movie I could ever see him making would be a Deadpool kills Marvel universe, just because he's a director that really likes to show off how a person can die.
That's true.
And Deadpool likes to show off how he can kill people.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like the perfect match made in heaven. You would have Deadpool killing Thor by making Thor's hammer 100 times greater than it's supposed to be, and it just squishes him, and shit like that. It would be the ultimate violent Deadpool film.
Yeah, it would be.
But
unfortunately, yeah, that can never happen. But yeah, so
we see that.
Pardon?
We'll see Batman v Iron Man before we see that.
Oh yeah, probably. Or what's it? Deathclaw, or what's his name? Darkclaw, the Batman Wolverine, the amalgam character that's half Batman, half Wolverine.
Let's see Darkclaw. That'd be a good film.
I would love to see an amalgam film universe.
Super Soldier of the Green Skull.
It'd be pretty great. But anyways,
yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts on Doctor Strange? Or what the implications of this movie going on forward in the Marvel Universe?
I think that pretty much covered it. I am kind of interested to see how Thanos will manage to take the time gem from Doctor Strange.
I'm more interested about the mind gem. Does Vision die when it gets removed?
Right? Thanos still has to take those gems. So far, he doesn't have any gems.
So do you think he's going to collect all the gems, get them all in the gauntlet, and possess the gauntlet at one point with all the gems?
He will. He's gonna possess the gauntlet, and the only way they're gonna be able to defeat him is through an uncanny method, like how Doctor Strange defeated Dormammu.
But how will they do that if they don't have any gems?
Because they're gonna have to trick Thanos. Every time in the comics when Thanos is defeated by the Avengers, when he has the gauntlet, it's because Thanos doesn't actually believe in himself. He wants to destroy the entire universe, but he lets himself be tricked and defeated every time. It's his main character flaw. That he's so fixated on death that he's completely ignorant of any possibility where he doesn't win.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see how he could possibly lose. And that's how they defeat him.
So,
He's so arrogant and blinded.
what are the chances, do you think, of either the Ultimate Nullifier coming up in the Avengers 3 or 4 movie, or later, once they get the rights back to Fantastic Four and they do a Galactus movie? You think we'll ever see the Ultimate Nullifier in the Marvel Universe?
That would probably be a phase 4 MacGuffin. I could see if they do, because they're going to get the Fantastic Four back in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah,
It's
inevitable.
Fantastic Four movie.
No, exactly.
They're going to lose the rights.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not even making Fantastic Four comics anymore. So they'll probably end up getting Fantastic Four within the next year or two. We'll see a deal being struck between Sony and Marvel, because or not Sony, Fox and Marvel.
Disney doesn't even. Marvel / Disney doesn't have to make a deal. All they have to do is wait, and Fox not make a movie, and then the rights just revert back to Disney anyways.
Exactly. And nobody's going to see another Fox Fantastic Four movie. Nobody will trust Fox enough to make a good one.
No.
Especially after the steaming pile of turd that they dropped on us last year. So what will end up happening is they'll probably have Galactus either for Phase 4, they'll most likely do
Masters of Evil.
Masters of Evil.
Yeah.
And then Phase 5 will be a Galactus, where they'll have to, find an Ultimate Nullifier or something like that. They find some way to defeat Galactus. So maybe Galactus is the villain for a couple of films, where there's multiple teams that are trying to defeat him, and then the last showdown is on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
No, that's
Let's hope it's not a giant cloud again.
Well, Jade, judging on how they did Dormammu, I'm going to go and say that it wouldn't be a giant cloud. Because that was a little bit of my worry when we finally saw Dormammu in a movie. What is it going to be? And I think they did a good job with that, so here's hoping they do a good job with Thanos. They've done a good job with Thanos. Thanos is literally like a 12-foot purple dude in a golden throne that flies in space. So
how realistic can they make him look?
No, yeah. Same with Galactus. Hopefully. Okay, do you think we're gonna see one more thing before we end this? Do you think we're gonna see ever? What's his name? The guy who Kang the Conqueror.
Yes, we will. Kang is if we're gonna see any villain for Phase 5, it's more likely to be Kang and less likely to be Galactus.
Yeah.
Because Kang is, Thanos is powerful because he's got his cosmic abilities. He's the Mad Titan, and he destroyed his whole race and all of that. But Kang is powerful because he's not from our time.
Yeah, he's from the future.
So he brings a whole new threat level where it's basically him fighting a bunch of primitives.
Yeah. Not only that, but he also can play with time, which makes him even more dangerous.
Yeah. And it makes it so that even though the Avengers might have the time gem, he still has control over time.
Yeah.
That's the villain that would make the most sense for them to do for Phase 5.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see, and hopefully they do the whole weird, purple helmet thing, square, TV helmet looking thing.
You're gonna have to have a good actor who can really be menacing as Kang.
Yeah. But
because in the comics, Kang doesn't look menacing.
He really doesn't, but he is menacing, even though he looks kind of silly. But they've done a good job with the real important villains, like Red Skull and now Dormammu and even like Loki and stuff. Like they seem to nail the really important villains. It's all the real obscure, unimportant ones like Malekith and Ronan. I liked Ronan the Accuser, but most people didn't know who he was before the movie came out anyways. I mean, I liked him in the comics, not in the movie. In the movie, he was just like a throwaway villain of like big crybaby who was just a douche.
Yeah. He was powerful, but he was also kind of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything for Doctor Strange.
So, the way that I rate movies is based on a system of 1 to 3, where 1 means that the movie's shit and you shouldn't see it, basically. 2 means that it's a movie that you could catch like on cable or on Netflix or something like that. And 3 out of 3 is go see this movie in theaters as quick as you can, kind of thing. So how would you rate Doctor Strange?
I'm gonna go with 3. Like, see this movie a lot. I'm actually going to see it again next weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.
I agree with you. I would rate it a 3 out of 3 as well, and I would. I'm probably gonna see it again before, like you said, either this upcoming weekend or maybe sometime this week. I don't know. I also want to go see Hacksaw Ridge. That looks like it's gonna be a really good movie.
And Inferno, that one looks interesting too.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the second of those 3 movies, and I didn't love it.
It's a Tom Hanks movie. It'll be at least decent.
Yeah, that's true. Tom Hanks always at least. I've never seen him phone in a performance at least.
Yeah, I can't really remember the last bad performance that Tom Hanks did.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so that's our ratings. That's our thoughts. Any thoughts that you have, toss them in the description of this video. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, so comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thanks for checking us out. For Damon Stewart and myself, Cody McLean, until next time, peace.